Hello everyone, my name is Shannon and I'm going to go through a little bit about Contra Entries today and how to automatically and when needed manually enter them in your Sage software. So a Contra Entry is typically used when you have a customer who is also a supplier and you want to allocate a sales invoice against a purchase invoice or vice versa in order to offset the outstanding invoices. It is possible to do this automatically in your software. However, there are times where you will need to do these manually. So automatic contra entries cannot be used with Sage 50 Accounts Essentials, Sage 50 Standard, if you operate the VAT cash accounting scheme, to offset outstanding credit notes, outstanding refunds or payments on accounts, CIS transactions. Now you can use the manual routine, but CIS transaction can't be part paid. And finally, non-base currency transactions. Instead, the above need to be entered manually. So let's start by taking a look at how to automatically record a contra entry. To record a contra entry, a sales receipt and a purchase payment must be posted, and you can do this using the contra entry function, which you can find within your customer or supplier module. Before you begin, you can create a new bank account, which will solely be used for contra entries. However, this is not mandatory, as all that will show in your bank account is a receipt and a payment, which will cancel each other out and not make any difference to your bank balance. If we look here to the right-hand side, I have opened up the contra entry window. And as you can see, we have the sales ledger to the left and the purchase ledger to the right. Like I have done here, you can pull up the customer and supplier accounts in which you want to allocate invoices against on each side. Now, only the invoices that are outstanding will show on this list, so any that you have already paid will not show. If you happen to have multiple invoices shown on each side, you can highlight the invoices you would like to offset. Now, the example that I have here will offset both invoices in full. However, just to note that if there is a mismatch in values, for example, you have a sales invoice for €100 and a purchase invoice for €150, you're prompted to make a part contra for the lowest amount. So what this will do, it'll allocate €100 to each of the sales invoice, to each of the invoices, paying the sales invoice in full and leaving €50 balance on the purchase invoice. Now moving on to how to manually contra transactions. This method can be used if you have any sales invoices or customer refunds on the customer account, or purchase invoices or supplier refunds on the supplier account. Again, step one can be to create a contra entry bank account, but remember this is not mandatory and you can use your current bank account. For step two, in order to clear the invoice or refund on the customer account, you must process a customer receipt in the bank account module to the customer's account. And finally, the third step in the bank accounts module, you must post a supplier payment to the supplier account. A little bit like before, if there is a difference in value, you should enter the smaller amount in both a receipt and payment. Once all the steps are complete and both a receipt and payment has been entered, your contra entry bank account will return to zero, or if you opted to use your own current bank account, they will offset each other and your balance will remain the same. For payments on accounts or any credit notes, these are a little different in the sense that instead of creating a receipt or payment to record the contra entry, you should post a customer refund to the customer account and a supplier refund to the supplier account. This will again, once both refunds have been created, the balance on the contra entry bank account or your own bank account, if you wish to use that, should now be zero. That's it for today. Thank you all for listening and I hope you enjoyed.